Hi everyone, welcome to Horrific Chats. Just me tonight. My guest hasn't turned up, so I'm going to have to kind of wing this. I'll see if I'm going to put a message in my week group. See if anyone else wants to jump in, but apart from that, just me. So what I've done, obviously, as you know, with streaming, etc. And that we'll see if we can get somebody to come and waffle along with me. But yeah, I had a look at some trailers and stuff, what's coming up. Yeah, as with streaming stuff, everything's kind of up the left right now, so not doing too much, but normal service shall resume next week. Tuesday onwards, we'll get back to normal, doing a few more streams during the week and all that good stuff. Obviously, we still have our scheduled episodes going ahead, and everything goes with it. So we'll still have our unboxing videos and God, what else do we do? We do loads. There'll be more reviews, all that good stuff. Anyway, the studios are being very quiet at the moment. They're not giving very much away. Just recently had the trailer drop there for Halloween Ends. That's coming out next month. I think that's what they're doing. But we're nearly halfway, 3/4 way through September. You'd think there'd be a wee bit more, but no. So tell you what, sorry, I'm as you can tell, Facebook gives me a time limit. So if I don't go live within 10 minutes of the stream, then I have to re-edit and start and shuffling all that nonsense, and I can't be annoyed. No, so I just hit it. But there we go. Let's no. Oh, wait, hang on. That's what we do. God, sorry, forgot the button. Right, let's have a look at Halloween Ends. Might have looked at this trailer, but let's see what's going on. Michael breathing on his mask, obviously. A wee tease of the theme music.
Come on, let's go.
How's she not dead? How many times has we nearly killed Laurie?
Come and get me, motherfucker. No!
There we go. That'd be that. Pretty standard. Here's the thing. How is Laurie still alive? Like, I love Jamie Lee Curtis as an actress. If you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, she's in that. She's absolutely bloody brilliant. She's someone that, at least, unlike other actors, hasn't shied away from her age and just embraced it and just playing roles and holding her own. And I wasn't too fussed. Halloween Kills was all right. I kind of slapwalked through it. One before, was it the Halloween reboot? Did they just call it Halloween? God, there's been so many in this franchise. This is my the Halloween franchise is my least favorite of the lot of them. The reason being because they couldn't decide whether or not Michael Myers was a human with, an extra strong human who was committed, psychotic, or an inhuman monster. So, with that said, they've kind of straddled this line. Now, the first 2 or 3 movies, because obviously, Season of the Witch, we've talked about that. It's its own thing. The studios put it into the Halloween franchise. Great movie in its own right, a lot of fun. Really went close to knuckle, especially the test scene. So the fact people still argue whether it is or it isn't, we know that it's not, and we know it was inserted into the property. So you just kind of have to switch your brain around and understand it's a standalone thing, standalone universe, and that's fine. The more you understand about studios and the way they work, you know that there's absolutely pillocks running in the background, and as usual, middle management, anyone that understands companies, middle management always screw things up. And that's the same with any industry. Once you have that layer of unnamed executives who don't put themselves, if you think about it, the most we know about a movie is the director. The director's like the top, and that's a person on the firing line. But they're no way the top when it comes to making a movie. They're like a supervisor, and more so now. It's the people we don't see. Same with companies. Companies, everyone knows the CEO, everyone knows the director of communications, but it's the ones that are in the background that you don't hear about that get away with a lot of stuff and cause problems, basically because they don't suffer the consequences, they don't get the backlash, personally. It was the same with Halloween, they put that third movie, but with the franchise as a whole, they couldn't make up their minds about Michael Myers. Like Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees, started him up. He was human, and then they gradually turned him into an inhuman monster. And that was cool. I think they had him almost come out of the lake, reborn, and almost like a childlike state until he became the committed killer, because those two are comparable. When they're comparable characters and comparable franchises. So on that, they did the job. But yeah, I wonder if it is going to end. I don't think as a franchise, it's already been rebooted. Rob Zombie didn't he do 2 of them? Went back to Michael Myers' childhood, kind of messed about there, and yeah, they were strange ones. I'm trying to think, yeah, not franchise. It's decent enough slasher flick. But what I can't get is Laurie Strode is. I'm not actually too sure of Jamie Lee Curtis's exact age, but I know she's she's no spring chicken anymore, which happens is all. Neither am I. That's lagging her off. But when you see the fact that Michael Myers can pick up teenagers and throw them about and stab them against the walls, and there she's holding her own against them, and they're making them both like that might be the way of the franchise, make them both inhuman monsters, and they're constantly battling each other like yin and yang sort of thing. I don't know. It's always been a messed up franchise. I'd love to know if there's a clear path going forward. It'd be interesting. This is getting rebooted. Once this movie comes out, they're going to leave it a couple of years, and then it's getting rebooted. So it'll not be the last of Halloween, but interesting enough. Don't hate it. Not super excited by it. And there you go. Right. See if this works. Yep. So we've got some Hellraiser news. In fact, they're being very tight-lipped. We've no trailer yet. Like, this is coming out on the 7th of October on Hulu. No UK release date yet where it's coming out. So that's annoyed me because obviously if it's Disney Plus, I'm not paying for Disney Plus. So I'll not see this movie. But if they're talking about it being 18 rated, full gore, they're not going to put it in Disney Plus, I don't imagine. They did put Prey in Disney Plus, but it didn't have like the full. I don't think it had the full gore, did it? Oh, sorry. Oh, anyway, so it was kind of cut off. But Hellraiser has to be grotesque and gruesome, which I think might be a bit much for the Disney Plus audience. So in the UK, what they're going to put on instead, because we don't have Hulu, and Disney bought bringing Hulu, so of course they're going to bloody hopefully they haven't stuck their nose too much in. But anyway, here's some images. This I think is the main character. Supposed to be an addict. She discovers the Lemant configuration. The change this time they're saying is in the original Hellraiser, it was your desire called the Cenobites to you. Here they're saying it's your blood. So it was never just solving the puzzle box. You had the desire, you know, I mean, you never, it wasn't a mechanical thing. That was the whole premise of the Hellraiser movie. Some did them well, some not so much, but the whole idea was it was a human desire. And you had this thing, the Cenobites, the individual stories of the humans that got enticed by them. Basically, it was their actions that called the Cenobites. And then there's also the overall plan of the Cenobites was to break through into the earth so they could almost basically gorge on human suffering and transcend. You know, I mean, the whole point is to transcend the levels of pleasure and pain and beyond mortal endurance, because obviously you get taken back to the Cenobites realm. Sorry, excuse me. You don't die, but you're in eternal suffering and pleasure, and you know, was part of the process of creating the Cenobite. They've changed that as well. They're almost having Cenobites almost simultaneous. The creation of a Cenobite or an angel, demon or angel, it's the same process, but one goes one side, one goes the other. So I think they're going that direction. Being very tight-lipped about it. I hope it doesn't be a terrible movie. I really don't. I want to enjoy. You know what I mean? I want to enjoy movies. I'm just worried because it's flipping Disney bought Hulu and they're going to stick their beaks in. But here we go. This is the main character, and this is Jenny Clayton as new Pinhead. This one's been lightened up because originally they were very dark. This is what's intriguing me. She's actually got a piece, or what looks like a piece of the Lemant configuration lodged in her throat. I think there's a sideways picture shows it better. This doesn't really give it, but I think that's what it is. We're only guessing at this point, but you see the sort of patterns up here. I'm assuming, like I said, with no real information. Looks good. This is stripped flesh. Be interesting to see her. What I'm contemplating on, I'm wondering if she's going to have a mechanical sort of twinge to her voice, you know, like a clock, you know, because it's actually in her throat. I'm wondering, is there going to be like a mechanical sort of twinge to the voice, or, you know, a different raspiness? They're going to go that direction rather than everyone. And you know, horror fans are like, and I can be just as bad. I was just bad with Nightmare on Elm Street, and I've held my hands up. Guilty of that with, oh, if it's not Robert Englund, I don't want to watch it. And then I was proved wrong. Unfortunately, too late because I didn't go to the cinema. I didn't buy the DVD at the time, so I'm partially to blame for that. And I do hold my hands up, hand in heart. I was wrong. So, with that respect, just because it's not Doug Bradley, we've already had two other actors whose names I forget, but weren't the best. It's been because of the whole battle as well. I think why these movies were turned out so quickly, because the studio was busy trying to keep the rights. Kai Barker's trying to get them back. He's involved in this, so be interesting to see where it goes. We've already done a whole video on the Scarlet Gospels and our thoughts on the franchise and where that's leading. So it'll be interesting to see how he walks back from that and where he wants to take the franchise. I really hope it works. I do. I genuinely want this to be good and a compelling story and like pure heart and not watered down or diluted. That'd be the worst thing. When you think of the imagery, like Hellraiser, the first one, created the most iconic imagery in horror, still to this day. And Pinhead has become one of the most iconic characters in horror. So I want this to be really good. I want it to reinvigorate the franchise, which has been beaten a lot, especially the last 3 or 4 movies. I need to get back in and do a deep dive into them all again. It's been too long, but there we go. This is supposed to be. This is the guy searching for the mount configuration. It's supposed to be like a billionaire or collector type person, I think. He's the one searching. I don't know, but somehow his path and the girl's path intertwine. We're seeing it here. He's obviously solved the puzzle and about to call the Cenobites. Different looking again. Now, what we're seeing here is like a sort of gold. It was always like stone or bright light. Obviously earlier effects. So we're seeing this golden, almost as if it's looking more like the box has extended out, because it was always a tricky one when you saw it in the earlier movies. When you saw the puzzle box and it extends out, it looked kind of impossible. This looks as if that's how the puzzle's solved. So maybe a wee bit of CGI trickery involved to get it to do that. But yeah, the fact it's got to that point and he hasn't been ripped to shreds yet makes me wonder what's going on. Because normally when it gets to that point, you're in trouble. It's already half over. Because usually by the time the box just starts to open and flip around the first bit, that's when they arrive and start ripping you to shreds. So how's he got there and still has his skin on his face? unless that's the main actress wearing this guy as a suit. Who knows? That'd be funny, wouldn't it? I'm just imagination going. What else we got? A video. Oh, bugger off. Right. Bloody ads. You get flipping beat over the head with ads, don't you? So here we go. This is a side visit, and this is what I'm talking about here. Look, that's actually lodged in her throat, and bloody hell. Everyone's talking about, Robert English, you play Freddy Krueger again. Doug Brown, you get back on. Look, this is not CGI, right? This is a makeup chair. This is latex. That, if you picture that, wearing that, that's not breathable, right? This is for any actor to go to this level of makeup. It's an endurance content. It really is a feat of endurance. And then they act out the scenes, because there's no way you're spending 6 hours in the makeup chair, getting up like that, and you're only doing like one scene and bugging off. Once you've got that stuff on, they're going to try and get as much out of the actress as possible. But look at it. That's bolted right through. Look, so that's why I'm wondering about her voice, what her voice is going to sound like. Is it going to have like a clockwork tinge to it? Is Pinhead now going to be directly linked to that puzzle box? Now I'm only surmising here. Oh, sorry. 7th Street Productions, new movie. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. Drop me an email. HORRORificpodcast@gmail.com. Drop us an email. And yeah, certainly we'll have a look at it. We'll have a laugh. Maybe we'll do it together this time. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Drop us an email, buddy, and yeah, we can have a look at that. So there you go. We'll have a look at another indie movie. So that anyway, back to where I was. Sorry, I just saw a comment there. I do try to keep going. Wasn't expecting anybody to, but look, they're bolted right through her neck. Look here and here. So that's going to do something. That has to do something to your voice. You don't have that bolted through your throat, essentially, and not do anything. So yeah, look at that. That is ripped flesh. So it was kind of hidden with the original pen. The robes kind of, you don't see the sort of extent of the laceration and brutality on a person's body that makes them become a Cenobite. Hellraiser 2, they give us a tease. They give us a sneak preview when the Dr. Clayton, no, who'd you call him, drama or something? The Doctor, anyway. Did it a wee bit cheesily. There was a wee bit of comedy in it, but he was sort of the example of a Cenobite being created. The only disappointment was that he turned on the other Cenobites, and this is the thing that's annoyed me about the franchise, because they kept either destroying them or turning them into human, where in the first one all you could really do was banish them back to the realm, and that was it. You were not getting rid of them, and then the puzzle box would move. It didn't matter what you did with the puzzle box, it would always return. Like in Bloodline, they buried it in bloody. In part 3 they buried it in concrete, and then Bloodline, they've reappeared in the whole building. The puzzle box calls to the Cenobites. It's like the One Ring of Mordor. It calls to its master. It's got its own sentience, so to speak. So it'll be interesting to see how this is changing the lore, if you think about it, because it was a human that developed the puzzle box, and it was by developing the puzzle box that opened up the gates of hell and called for and the Cenobite Order is an order of demons within hell, which we've found out since. So it'll be interesting. Is Pinhead now directly linked? Did Pinhead influence the creation of the puzzle box? Was it whispering across the veil? I'm probably making more out of this than the movie's actually going to be, but this is what we do. You know what I mean? Having a bit of fun. This one's called The Mask, I believe. So, obviously, I think they're appearing naked in this. Is that what it's going to be? They're not going to be clothed in their robes. So is this another departure that they're not gonna have clothing? They're going to be. I don't know, but look, there's a frame. If you can see that, and their face is actually so. Has their skull been ripped? I think this is unless I've got another image. Is that the skull there? So is the skull just lying open and then the face has been pulled forward? That would be painful. Like, don't forget, this is your soul. So physically you'd be dead. You know what I mean? That'd be it. You'd pass out from you get overwhelmed with pain, or you at a certain point, you'd pass out and you'd be game over. But the horrifying thing about the Cenobites are that you don't get the luxury of dying. You think Billy in the first one, he was stretched on that, the wooden device. He was stretched all over it, and he was alive that whole time. And his face, part of his face was screaming still as he was flayed and tortured. And if you read the book, even the introduction, like, he goes through and he ejaculates about 10 times, and then the female Cenobite, the one with her throat ripped open, her character was like, right, you're back with us. Now we can really begin. You know what I mean? The whole idea of enduring that much pain, but also the limits of pleasure and pain, taking you to that point where you can't bear it anymore, but you don't have the luxury of death. And then you come back as this grotesque. Look at it. He's got, look, there's braces. So, I wonder what that is, because why there's always a theme with, now some of them are cheesy, like the guy with the flip, what do you call that, the nail gun, mechanically moving his head, and the twins. Remember the twins got done with a drill and they were captured together. You know what I mean? There's always a theme that some sort of device turns you into a Cenobite, and then you take on the characteristics of that device. So what have they been put on? Have they been put on a steel frame and ripped asunder? There's not even eye sockets, so I hope there's a sideways view of this. There's another 4 images to go. Oh, back to Gina Clinton again. Piss off ad. We've seen that. And That's the original one. Gee, let's say IMDb. Freaking arseholes are just look at that there. They're just putting old images just to fill up space. They're really giving nothing away about this movie. Yeah, they're giving nothing away. But it'll be interesting to see. I just hope it's good. That's all I want. I just want a good movie. I want a compelling story told. I want it to be a horror movie. I don't want it diluted down. That's all I want. I don't want it diluted down. I want it to be an actual horror movie. I want to be disturbed. I want them to, the journey from human to Cenobite, or if you call the Cenobites the consequence of that. What length somebody, that was the other theme of the series was what length would somebody go to not to be called by the Cenobites. God, what was it? Number 4? Was it Hellraiser 4? We had he was a serial killer. Do you remember the serial killer one? And then his memory was wiped, but in the back of his mind, he had to offer up 5 sacrifices so he wouldn't be taken. But then they tricked him, or he messed up the last one, and then he didn't make a quota, so he got taken anyway. I really need to go through these movies again. So long. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I just hope to get the flipping UK sorted out. Honestly, where are we going to watch it? Because you know me, I've always been a proponent against video piracy. Doesn't matter whether it's a Hollywood movie or independent movie. People work on it. You've got cast, crew, directors. You've got people that need to get paid. You don't go and do a job you don't go and work for nothing. You expect a wage. So for the sake of a few quid, if you're going to watch somebody's movie, watch it. If the movie's made available to you for free, at least help plug it, like we do here. If somebody gives us an excerpt or something, then the least we can do is put it on the channel, and at least there's a mechanism for someone to promote the work and you guys to see it. So you know me when it comes to piracy anyway, but once again, the way these bloody companies work, like we're left in the dark. Are we getting to see it or not? And I'm pretty sure other countries are the same. But there you go. That be that one. What else did I find? There's another one of these VHS movies coming out, I think, next month on Shudder. So I found the trailer. There are 3 of these out at the moment. You know me, I'm not a fan of found footage type movies. So be interesting to see how this goes. But let's have a look at the trailer and see what we think. Phones. Yes, I am that old, I remember. Only on Shudder. Oh, nope. That's sorry about that. Jumping on here, flipping. I'm still getting the hang of bouncing about with this stuff. But yeah, there you go. That's quite interesting. There was the VHS one that was in a house party that it turns out they were experimenting on a fella and gave him took out his eyeballs and put them in. Is that part of that series? Because I watched that one and it was shit. And it was him looking through, it was the cameras in his eyes and it was recording everything that went on. I didn't like that one. It was horrendous. Really No, I was right. Sorry, I was just having a look there, just in case somebody wants to bounce on and have a chat. But there we go. Yeah, if it's anything to do with that movie, wasn't impressed with that one. I've seen a couple of these on Shudder. I might have a revisit and see what it's about. I'm not a massive fan of found footage, as you know, but at the same time, I'll check a movie out to see what it's like. I've said this before in other reviews. My problem with found footage is what they try and do is make it all as if it's with a camcorder and they make up these scenes that you wouldn't record with a camcorder, and then they try and change it. What was that last one? Incantation was, I think, an example of the worst ones because they were trying to use as if it was security footage, but then they mixed up because they had the act out scenes to flesh it out, and just to me it's just a mess. The main idea of found footage would be just have it as a normal movie, but they've got the tapes, and don't make it as if you're looking through. Make it a mystery, and just by viewing the tapes. Another one that really, in fact, we all argued about it. Archive 81. If you check out our review for that series, the actual acting scenes and him reviewing the tapes is fine, but then when they jumped over to her, and she's around shaking the camera like a flipping lunatic, and never end in batteries, and never end in those mini cassettes were friggin' expensive. They were super expensive to have those, and what you had to do was you had to convert. You had the double deck VHS. Sorry, I'm speaking to people that may not remember all this stuff, but you had a double deck tape recorder VHS, and what you had was an adapter. So you put the camcorder one into the normal VHS, you put that, and then you copied it over. That way you could use the tape again, because you could not afford. These were like 9-10 quid each. They were bloody horrendous. You got like a pack of 3, and it was like 30 quid back in the day. Especially if flipping in that series, she was using the Sony one. And Sony are anyone remembers the Sony stores, if they're still about, were bloody expensive. It's like they made Apple they make Apple blush, honestly, with the way to go. But there you go. Be interesting to see. But anyway, last thing, and then I'll bounce off, because, like I said, I know we'd advertise this stream. I'm not going to just sit here, just let it go. I'll set it bounce on, at least, because of prior commitments. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let people down. I know I haven't been streaming as much, but may as well do some else. So, last thing there, just saw us come up earlier. So apparently they're confirming Constantine 2, and Keanu Reeves is coming back. It's bloody bad robot, and JJ freaking Jar Jar Abrams, the destroyer of franchises. I don't know if he was involved with the first one, but this is why Constantine was removed, because they got involved with taking over the franchise. He was removed from DC Legends of Tomorrow, and then he couldn't be in the Sandman series, or Matt Ryan couldn't be in the Sandman series. So this, I do not like this guy. I don't like his company. I don't like the way he does business. He tries to be like a nice guy, but he's really a horrible person. He's also been responsible for all this fan baiting that's going on in other franchises, just essentially calling the audience names to get them to react, and then that generates obviously clicks and likes and shares. I just think it's shoddy business practice. You know, if you're a conscientious artist, your work should speak for itself, and you should want people to share in your work. I don't get this winding people up, or I've created this just to piss you off. I don't get that. Maybe that's just me, but I think really deep down, a lot of people think the same. You go to entertainment for escapism. You go, especially in fantastical genres, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, you go that to escape the real world. And the real world going on at the moment. Yes, you can have concepts and ideas. You can create politics unique to the universe. You can have things going on, but having current day everything going on, like busy watching the news channel or getting preached to. Just nobody wants that, and that's why people are turning off. That's why I'm turning off from a lot of franchises. I know this is a DC, technically a comic book property, but it's really there with the horror genre. And also, if you like the more sort of supernatural element, Justice League Dark was a good series. What did they have? The Constantine, Zatanna, who was the ghost? Deadman, was it the ghost that possessed people? They had Swamp Thing part of it. You know what I mean? There was a whole it was all the sort of supernatural. There's another one that ruined. I was going to cover that series, but they only did one season of it and then binned it. But Swamp Thing is a real horror, supernatural comic book series, which they need to do justice. You know, there's an adult audience for this kind of stuff in the horror genre, but because they're trying to make everything for kids and family movies, you know, they're destroying the longevity of the audience, because you start off as a kid watching certain things, then you progress into more adult material, but you can technically stay with a property for your life, and that's what happened now. But let's have a look at this. Here's a resurrection of a DC character worth getting excited for. Warner Brothers will develop another installment in 2005. 17 years ago, bloody hell. Constantine, reteaming star Keanu Reeves and Francis Lawrence. I'd heard someone was going to be Matt Reeves again. That Batman movie was like kind of so that's promising. Guys who made the original, so that's something. Right to school. Kiva Goldman will write the screenplay and produce the project through his reader pictures alongside Bad Robots. Oh god. Almost 17 years ago. 200 million. What a sequel. Still gonna. I think most of us give up. I did like the. I'm not a big CW fan. I did like the Constantine series with Matt Ryan. I have to say. Once again, I was burned after one season. But that opens up some interesting concepts. In the original is down, but stays around. Well, the devil saved his life basically because he wants to tempt him and get him back to hell. Oh, that's it. Oh, stuff comments. We're not getting enough. Don't go on the internet comments. That's bad mojo. Yeah. I don't know. I don't doubt Keanu Reeves' commitment to the character. I'm just worried because freaking Jar Jar Abrams is involved. Is he going to arse this up? Because there hasn't been a franchise. He has poisoned the franchises. Let's be honest. The man's poison. Mystery box. You know, let's leave an open-ended plot and never solve it because he doesn't know how to write. You know, it's. Do you know what this should do with comic books? I know I don't talk about them. I've given up. But there's a reason comic books have lasted so long. Just take one of the stories and transcribe it onto the big screen. That's what you do. Just take a story and transpose it. Make it live action. That's what you do. You don't have to invent brand new story, especially if you don't have the capabilities. Just take the story. Just one of the long standing. They're all in the graphic novels now, so they're all in collections. Just do it. Just do that. Popular story and just reimagine. Just put it on the screen. There you go. Job done. They did it with The Dark Knight Returns. When they had Peter Weller play Batman. Sorry, I know I'm going off on a tangent here. But on horror, I miss Dark Horse Comics. They were really good. They did crossovers. The Bloodlust, the Batman Dracula series was fantastic. There was 3 books. 3 or 4 books. Oh, they're thick. I used to have them. Don't anymore, unfortunately. But proper, like, it was like Bram Stoker type, imagery, starts off and then it just devolves into the gothic world. Batman was overwhelmed. That was good, and then it's worth looking them up again. Batman v Dracula. Three, I think it was 3 or 4 books. Definitely 3. I definitely had 3 in the third. They were hardback, you know what I mean? They were hardback books as well. Or the third one definitely was a hardback book. Good story. But yeah, there you go. I just thought I'd, like I said, usually we're expecting a stream, so I'll change the title and stuff. But I didn't want the just leave hanging. You know, I made this commitment, so there you go. I just called up some news quickly to share with you what's going on. If you have any idea what is going on for Hellraiser in particular, anyone in the UK that might be, because I try not to read the media, it gives me a bloody headache. But yeah, if you get any news, please drop a comment, let us know on the channel. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, keep tabs. We might be doing a review of the Conjuring the Beyond with 7th Street Productions. That'll be a laugh. Yeah, that was one Haunting Ravenwood. I don't think we're too kind about that movie, but yeah, book all how to see it. You know, at the end of the day, something's fun. I'm not here about. I just want people to know what my opinions are about movies, and you can either agree with them or don't. It's almost better if you don't agree with the movie. So if I like it, you probably won't, or if I don't like it, you probably will. You know, that works just as well as agreeing with everything I say. You know, still a barometer test. But there you go. That's that. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to have a few more beers and enjoy my Saturday night. And I hope you enjoy yours. And until next time, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.